Thank you for choosing the Backyard Pavilion from Yardistry. We're confident you'll find the assembly straightforward as long as you work through each step in the assembly manual. In addition, this Helpful Hints video offers tips and tricks that we've learned along the way for handling some of the more critical steps. Step 1. Inventory. Before beginning assembly, sort your inventory by laying out each of the wood parts and hardware on the ground. Then, using the stamps or marked reference numbers, take a few minutes to cross-reference each one with the list in the assembly manual. Remember, we are always here to help. Contact us if you find a part that is damaged or missing. Take a moment to record the carton ID stamp for each box that you receive. There is a space on page 10 of your instruction manual to write down the first 5 digits that come before 14459 and also the letter at the end. Step 6. Attach uprights. From inside the frame assembly, measure and mark 35 and 9/16 inches along both front and back beams. Start from the same side of the assembly on each beam. Then, place one center gable upright on each beam so the edge is in line with the mark and the notch is tight to the beam. When in place, secure it with wood screws. Step 7. Roof frame assembly, Part 1. It is best to do Step 7 on a raised surface that is flat and solid. Lay out the roof rafters so the channel is facing down and the angled end is toward the top, like this. Place one roof strap along the bottom so that it fits in the slots on the roof rafters and attach with bolts. Next, place a roof strap along the top in the same fashion. Place a roof cap bracket over each joint along the top and have a helper hold the parts in place while you secure them. When you're installing the roof strap in the middle, place boards under the frame to raise the assembly up while you secure it. The left and right gable uprights work well for this. Step 7. Roof frame assembly, Part 2. Attach one rafter to beam bracket to each of the center roof rafters. In the correct position, the rafter to beam brackets should be installed on the bottom hole of the rafters with the angled end facing towards the bottom of the frame assembly. Step 7. Roof frame assembly, Part 3. On each outside roof rafter, place one rafter so the angle of the rafter is flush to the angle of the roof cap brackets, and the top edge of the rafter is flush to the top of the roof straps. Next, secure with 4 screws, leaving the top hole of the roof rafter empty. Step 7. Roof frame assembly, Part 4. Measure diagonally across the frame in both directions to check that the frame is square. It should measure 84 and 7/16 inches from corner to corner. If it is not square, loosen the bolts at each joint and adjust the panel so it's square. Then, have a helper hold the panel in place while the hardware is retightened. Step 8. Attach roof panels, Part 1 and 2. Gloves are essential for this part of the assembly because the roofing material can have sharp edges. To prevent scuffing, remove the clear and blue plastic from both sides of the aluminum panels right before assembly. If you are using a power tool, be careful not to over-tighten the screws. We recommend hand-tightening the screws until they are snug. To support the frame while you install the roof panels, place a left gable upright and a right gable upright under the center rafters. Place one main panel on the roof frame assembly. In the correct position, the main panel will fit under the lip of the roof cap bracket and tight to the top of them. The holes at the top of the panel will be beside the ribs, and there will be a slight overhang along the bottom of the frame. Pre-drill and secure the main panel to the rafter, then secure it to the roof straps where shown here using one self-tapping screw. Next, place the second main panel on the frame in the same fashion. The rib on the second panel should overlap the rib on the first panel. Pre-drill and secure the second roof panel to the rafter. Now, place a roof edge along the bottom of the frame assembly so the ends are flush with the outside edge of the rafters. Pre-drill the holes at each end going into the rafters, then secure with roofing screws. Secure the rest of the roof edge and both main panels with self-tapping screws. Step 9. Attach roof panels to frame, Part 1 and 2. Do not attempt Step 9 in windy conditions. You'll need 3 people and 2 ladders for this step. Lift one roof panel up and over the pavilion frame, so the top rests on the center gable uprights and the edge of the rafters are flush to the peak. In the correct position, the notches on the bottom of the rafters will sit tight and flush to the front back beams. When aligned, attach the center gable uprights to the rafters with one wood screw per upright. Have one person hold the roof panel in place while the others lift a second panel into place. The second panel should be installed in the same manner as the first, and the two panels should fit tight together at the top. It is okay if there is a slight gap at the peak. Now, secure the second panel to the center gable uprights. Step 9. Attach roof panels to frame, Part 3. When installing the truss brackets on the inside of the assembly, have someone on the outside of the assembly pulling both panels tight together. It is best to hand tighten when installing these brackets. Next, secure the rafter to beam brackets to the side beams using pan screws. Step 10. Attach gable uprights. When attaching the right and left gable uprights, make sure they are tight to the rafters, front back beams, and center gable uprights, then secure with wood screws. Step 11. Attach ridge caps. From one end of the roof peak, slide the ridge cap over each roof cap bracket and across the top of the roof. It's helpful to have someone on the other side of the roof guiding and pulling the ridge cap across. When in place, secure with screws. Step 12. Attach fascia. To complete roof assembly, place two fascia boards against the rafters so the peaks meet in the center. The bottom of the fascia board should be a ½ inch below the bottom of the rafter. Have a helper hold the boards in place while you secure them with wood screws.